Good morning, everyone. It's Karen Whooley, and welcome to Live Wednesday. Can you believe this is the last one in October? I am kind of going a little crazy with how fast this year is going, and I realized this morning a bunch of stuff that I have to get done before the end of the year, more personal than anything else. So, but I wanted to just say hello and hope you guys are having a great week. And I'm going to run over to the comments and see who's all here really quick. So we have Linda and Daisy May. I'm so glad you guys are here. I'm glad you smashed that button too. Good morning, Kelly. It's good to see you. I'm so glad you're here. And Stephanie in Texas, and it's 64 degrees right now. Wow. Okay, so here it's only 50. So we have just gotten into a cold snap here, so it's kind of definitely fall in the Pacific Northwest. And Joyce, good morning. I'm so glad you're going to be lurking. I'm glad you're here. And Kathy is here from Florida. Good morning, Kathy. It's good to see you. And Judy's here also. Good morning, Judy. I'm so glad to see you. And Renee is here also. Good morning. Good morning. I hope you guys are having a great week. So today's topic, just so you guys know, nobody sent me any, I'm going to put the topic up here really quick. Nobody sent me any ideas. So I just went through some of my old videos and picked this one out. This is an old video that I don't think is even on my YouTube channel anymore. I'm going to be redoing it, but I thought it was a good place for me to see what you guys thought about the different ways of doing slip knots that I teach. There's other ways besides what I teach. However, I'm not a fan of those other ways because there's too many chances of them slipping out. A lot of people don't make it an actual knot. And then when they wash something, that slip knot, even with a woven in end, can work its way out and unravel. So I don't recommend other ways of doing slip knots. But if you have a different way and you prefer doing it that way, that's great. You can keep doing them your way. But I just thought I'd pop in and do that video. But before we do that video, I just want Pat, this just came in. It's in Alaska, 27. Okay, you beat us, definitely. It's cold in Alaska. And then Kelly said it's 39 here, but looking forward to 60s this weekend. That'll be nice. We are supposed to be getting colder and colder as time goes on. So, yeah. So anyway, guys, I want to, before we get started with anything else, I am going to talk about the giveaway. Of course, I'm giving away another pattern. And so today I'm giving away, you guys, if you are on my newsletter, you've seen this. This is Blue Skies. This is my new pattern. It was released yesterday. If you are part of the pattern club, you already have this pattern, but I thought I'd show it to you in person. If you want to see it on the website, I'm going to put it up on the screen here really quick. That is the pattern for Blue Skies. So if you would like to enter to win a digital copy, and what I do is if you are the winner, I will put it in your account on my website. If you don't have an account, I will create one for you so that you can download it, but you'll have to send me your email address. So if you are interested in winning a copy of that pattern, I am going to put this back up on the screen here really quick, or not that, but I'm going to put hang on one second here. There it is. You are going to type into the chat box hashtag blue or sky blue. Sorry, I was going to say blue skies, but that's the name of the pattern. Sky blue. So if you're interested in winning a copy of this pattern for Blue Skies, go ahead and type hashtag sky blue in the chat box. I'll leave it there for a second before I take it off screen. So go ahead and do that. I am having my voice go in and out. So, excuse me. I am my voice is going in and out. So I'm drinking tea today. I'm trying to help that. So hang on a second here. It's the one thing that comes with the cold is the drier weather here in the Pacific Northwest, or at least in my part of the Pacific Northwest. And so I'm starting to feel it. So anyway, okay. Oh, and then I should mention here too that the only person who is ineligible to win today is Stephanie Orr. She won last week, but I think she already has this pattern anyway because she's part of the pattern club. So go ahead and make sure you type in blue #blue_sky. So anyway, so before I get the movie up or the video up, I just wanted to make sure that if you guys have any questions for me, does not have to be on this topic. Type in, like you see scrolling at the bottom, the letter Q, a space, and then your question in the comments, and I'll scoop those up as the video is going. Oh, I should mention also, I don't know if you guys noticed that my camera is moving back and forth a little bit. It is, I have a new camera, and it is, I'm testing some features out with this because it allows me to like move. So if I move over here, the camera is going to follow me. And if I move over here, it'll come back. So I'm testing out some, so this new camera, it focuses in and it does a lot of things. So if it bothers you, let me know. I'm getting ready to start teaching classes in January. In fact, I've already got one on the schedule. I haven't released the information about it yet, but I want to get 2 more in January. I'd like to schedule at least 2 classes every month for the first quarter. So be watching for that. I am trying to figure out what classes I want to put first. I still have to get through the surveys a little bit more because I've got a lot of people saying they want me to do this kind of class and kind of do that kind of class. And I should mention, one of the things that, and I don't know if it's anybody here, I don't think it is, but I'm just going to put it out there because I know a lot of people watch this after the live stream's over. But a lot of people put in that they want me to teach other crafts, and that's not going to happen. I may teach beginning knitting for crocheters so that you can learn that, but I'm not going to teach things like punch needle. Somebody asked for punch needle. Somebody asked for spinning classes. I'm a spinner, but I am not a spinning teacher. So there are people who are out there far better than I. I don't do, I mean, I know how to embroider. I have done embroidery. I've done cross stitch. I've done all that kind of stuff. I'm not a cross craft business. I am a crochet business. So I just want to let you guys know that those kind of classes aren't going to happen except for sure, I just have to get the class set up, is beginning knitting for crocheters. So, and that'll just be basically learn to knit, learn to purl, learn to cast on, that kind of thing. How to hold your yarn in the hand that you're used to with your crochet hook, that kind of thing. So I just wanted to let you know that. So if you're watching after the fact and you're one of those people who asked me to teach those kinds of classes, I'm sorry. There's other people who can do them far better than I can. So, okay. So I am going to cue up this video. So hang on a second here. This isn't, like I said, this is an old video. I actually filmed this at our old house before the pandemic, probably 2018 maybe. So this is, I don't think this is on my YouTube channel, but I'm going to go ahead and put it up. Everyone, this is Karen Whooley. And you can see this is my old house. This is my old, before I even moved into my son's bedroom. It's kind of funny. I had, my office was out in the main family room. So old glasses and everything. So I'm going to go ahead and start this video. Let me know if you need me to turn up the volume a little bit. I don't know if I can. I think it's up all the way. So hopefully you guys can hear the sound, but I'm going to go ahead and start it, and then I'll come back when it's over. Hi everyone, this is Karen Whooley, and I'm here to teach you 3 different slip knots. Let's get started. The first slip knot I want to show you is called the Big E. And I call this the Big E because it seems to be the best way to teach kids that are 6 years old or older. I don't usually start them before 8, but if I do have a student that comes in that's younger, this seems to be the best slip knot that works for them. Okay, guys, is that clicking on and off for you volume-wise? Can somebody tell me? I'm hearing sporadically it's shutting off. Can you hear it? Can you guys post? It is clicking on and off. Okay, I'm not sure why it's doing that. It worked perfectly earlier. So I'm going to start it again, see if it continues. And if it doesn't, then I'm going to have to do this a different way. So hang on. Now, the reason I call it the Big E is because it actually does look like an E. When you Never mind. Okay, so that video is not going to work for some reason. I don't know if something changed when I went live, but it's not going to work. So I'm not sure what's going on. Let me try one other thing really quick before I put this back in. The E, what you're doing is you're taking the tail. Nope. Tail. And you're okay. Not going to happen. Okay. Sorry, guys. I guess I'm not going to show you that video. I'm not sure why it's choppy because it works fine on when I play it straight up on my computer, and I did a test run before I even went live and it worked fine. So I'm not sure what's going on. So I guess we're not going to talk about my video. So I'm just going to open it up to questions from you guys. So let me know what you want to talk about. Honestly, I saw Linda here asking if I play the piano. I play chopsticks and I play the Battle Hymn of the Republic in 2 fingers. I learned in 4th grade for a school play, and that's it. My mom is the piano player, and that piano actually came to us because my daughter was taking piano lessons. So we still have the piano. Cassie, when she finally moves into a house where she can have the piano, it will go to her. But currently it's downstairs in our, what we call our parlor, because we have a formal dining room that we don't use. So we put couches in there and the piano in there. So anyway, I do not play the piano. It shouldn't be a streaming issue. It might be an internet issue. That's what I'm thinking it is. So it shouldn't be a streaming issue because the software, I actually worked with the software people that I stream with that, and that should not be too big of an issue. So I'm not sure because I've shown videos here before. So, okay. So topics, guys, anybody have something they want to ask me about? I'm trying to think. I don't really have anything to show you right now because I'm working on, I showed this on Instagram yesterday. I'm working on a new video series for a project. I'm working on these right now. They're almost done, or at least the first color is almost done. And then I have to make 13 of these and 12 of a different color. So, and then I'm going to be streaming, or I'll be releasing the pattern with the videos next year. So I just saw a couple people pop in. Charlene says, good morning. It's good to see you. I'm so glad you're here. And Francis from New Zealand. Awesome. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're here. I know it's really early. I can't believe you actually made it. That's great to have you though. Okay, guys. So we're going to, because my video is not working, I'm going to go ahead and ask you guys to give me some questions because I really don't have anything to talk about today. I am working on a pair of socks for myself. I'm working on this video that I told you about. And then as soon as I get all these squares done, I'm going to start knitting for Christmas. I know I've mentioned I'm going to be doing 2 sweaters, or 1 sweater and 1 little like long sleeve overall knit thing for my grandson. I have to also knit his stocking, which I haven't started yet. And so that's pretty much it right now for me as projects. But I saw there's a question that just came in. Have you talked about keeping straight sides and no holes in flat pieces before? Not on YouTube Live, no. I'm actually putting together a class on that, so I probably won't do it on YouTube Live because I am putting, well, actually the no holes and flat pieces, I already have that class, and that's probably going to be one of the classes I'll be teaching on Zoom in the first quarter of 2022, because that's something that everybody has been asking for is no holes and flat pieces and keeping sides straight. And those are all, I have a finishing class that I am going to talk about some of this stuff as well. So be watching for those. Charlene says, have you done mosaic blankets? I have not done a mosaic blanket in years and years and years. The new style mosaic that you're seeing right now, I've never done in a blanket form. I've done the traditional mosaic, which is actually a true mosaic crochet, and that's the Lily Chin style of doing mosaic crochet. Do I have the book where I can actually pull it out? Hang on a second. I don't have it in a spot where I can actually pull it out at the moment, but I can't see, I don't even see it in my shelf right now, but mosaic crochet, it's not something that I am particularly fond of. So even though I did a series on mosaic crochet, and I do like the newer way of doing mosaic, which I would not call mosaic crochet. It's more overlay crochet than it is mosaic crochet. If you want to do apples to apples, because of the way it's done, it's overlaid. It's not true mosaic. So I'm not a fan of worsted weight either. So I don't do a lot of blankets, except for now you're going to be seeing a lot of videos with worsted weight yarn. You can see I've got all this red heart back here. And I'm working with red heart right now, and I'm not having a good time with it, even though it's a project. I'm having fun with the project. I'm not having fun with the yarn. Let's put it that way. I am a fingering and lace weight person. And while you can do mosaic and both of those, it's not my style of crochet. So you won't be seeing me do any of that kind of stuff coming up. Dawn just arrived. Good morning, Dawn. I'm glad you're here. And Kelly says, I'm working on one as I'm watching using Shepji's Whirl Beatrix pattern. Oh, good. I bet. I mean, even in finer weight yarns, the mosaic crochet is very pretty. It's just not my style of crochet. So it's not something that I would do. Tapestry is different than mosaic. So, and tapestry is different than overlay. So Tapestry is more like if you've ever seen my Fair Isle techniques that I do. Tapestry is more like that. So it's kind of different altogether. And then Francis says, I'm starting Blue Skies today. I saw that you were going to do that as a chapel veil. I think that's awesome. Oh, merino silk will be pretty. Yeah, Blue Skies. For those of you who popped in late, that is our giveaway today. I'm giving away a digital copy of the pattern. Oops, and you can see my camera is doing the things again. I'm going to take Francis's off the screen here. Okay, so this is Blue Skies. For those of you who popped in late, if you'd like to win a free digital copy of the pattern, and you're going to type in hashtag Blue Sky. Sorry, you're going to type in hashtag Sky Blue, not Blue Sky. I keep wanting to say Blue Sky because of the name of the pattern, Sky Blue. So you make sure if you want to enter to win that, you do that. I'm going to take that off for a second. Okay, so Charlene's asking for a picture of the original mosaic stitch. There is a book, and you're going to look at you're going to look up the designer Lily Chin. I'm going to type it in Lily Chin Mosaic Magic. This is what she teaches is true mosaic. Honestly, is true mosaic. The thing that, okay, I'm going to get on a little soapbox here. Sorry, guys. The thing that the internet has done to crochet that really irritates me is that people call techniques by different names than what they actually are. So if you really want to talk about what mosaic is, look up knitting mosaic stitches and look up Lily Chin's. I'm going to put her thing up here. Lily Chin, well, Lily should be capitalized, but I didn't do that. Mosaic Magic, and I probably spelled mosaic incorrectly as well because now I'm looking at it. It looks wrong, but I could be wrong. Excuse me. I'm typing fast, so that's true mosaic, which you see when you see knitting, mosaic knitting, and what Lily has done with mosaic crochet. What you're seeing, the people with all these, front loops and working in the front loop and all of that stuff, that is overlay crochet because you're overlaying on top. And in fact, I will be doing, there is a pattern coming out next year that has a similar technique to it, and it's still considered overlay. So for someone like me who has been crocheting since she was 7 years old, back in the 1970s, learned from my grandmother who learned in Italy how to crochet, you see where certain things kind of change a little bit, but the names have never changed. And suddenly all these people are trying to make things new. And this is what used to bother me in the 80s too, is that like crocheting with the double-ended crochet hook is a form of Tunisian, but it's 2 colors usually, and you flip your hook and something like that. And people called it on the double, and what's the other name? There's another name for that. So anyway, especially with the younger generation, and if anybody who's in that younger generation that doesn't understand this, you can't just make up names for things because, it was bad enough that Tunisian used to be called the Afghan stitch because it was mostly used for Afghans. I was glad when that changed because I knew way back when my grandmother was teaching me to crochet that it wasn't just used for Afghans. There's other things you can do with Tunisian stitches. So I just wanted to make that everybody aware of that just because somebody calls it mosaic crochet doesn't mean it is mosaic crochet. And if you really want to hear someone who has a soapbox about this, ask Lily Chin about mosaic crochet and she will give you an earful. So there you go. That's why when I did my series earlier this year, I called it overlay mosaic crochet because I had to use the words mosaic crochet because people know it as that. now because so many people call it that, but it's really not. It's overlay. You are working on top. There's also another book on mosaic crochet that's not the same as Lily's, but it's closer to what the newer stuff is. And it's put out by Annie's Attic or Annie's, and it's done by, there's a book on it. I can't think of the name. And if you go to my website at KarenWhooley.com and look at the articles I did on mosaic crochet, I did mention her book and from Annie's, and I have a link to it to the Annie's website. So you might want to check that out as well. Let me just say, let me just see. I just saw you guys. Yes, Stephanie just said yes. Leisure Arts has Lily's Mosaic Magic Afghan book in ebook. Yes, it's an ebook. So thanks, Stephanie. I forgot about that. Because it was done by Oxmoor House, and then Oxmoor House got bought by Leisure Arts, and so Leisure Arts has it. Couldn't remember who it was that bought it, and you were just reminding me. So thank you. Okay, so I have questions. Karen, have you ever done, I don't know what that is, mat lace? Is that the same as overlay crochet? I don't know what that is. I've never heard of mat lace crochet. That is something that I've never heard of. That's interesting. Okay, I'll look that up, and I probably not. Overlay crochet, it used to be that you would work, like years ago, I did a poncho, and which may come back at some point, I did a poncho that was done in plaid. And the way the plaid worked is that I changed colors along the row. So it was like 2 colors that I would change. And in between the colors, I would have, or even sometimes in the middle of a single color, I would have like a chain 1 space in between. And then when the whole strip was done, then I would go back with a 3rd color and I would slip stitch into those chain 1 spaces. So that was considered overlay. There's other types of overlay, but overlay basically means that you're working on top of other stitches. So for example, I'm trying to think, cables. If you do cables the way I do cables, you do a row like of double crochet, and then you do a row of single crochet. And then the next row of double crochet, all the double crochets are facing the same side. And when I do the post stitches, I'm working over the top of the single crochets, and I'm working around the posts of the double crochets. That's considered an overlay because I'm overlaying, even though I've got this row of single crochets in there, I'm not working in those single crochets except for when I'm not doing a post stitch. So that's kind of overlaying the cable on top of those double crochets. So there's that school of thought with overlay. Now there's also, I cannot think of her name right now. There's a woman, Melody McDuffie, I think is who it is. Melody McDuffie, if you look her up, she does a lot of overlay crochet. Pretty sure it's Melody. So if you're interested in learning different types of overlay, overlay crochet, she's a good person to talk to look up if you're interested in overlay, more about overlay. Okay, so Francis, is mosaic similar to interlocking? Yes and no. Yes and no. I haven't done a lot with interlocking, even though I do have the books on interlocking crochet. I just have not had the time to really go through them. But it is similar. It is similar to interlocking, but not quite the same. Okay. Mate lace. I'm going to have to look up mate lace. Never heard of that. Okay, so mate lace is more of it's a silk or woolen fabric woven so that to have a raised surface with a quilted appearance. Okay, so that's why I've never seen it. So I don't know what Annie's had. I'm going to look it up here really quick. Catalog. Oh, I see. Okay, so what they're calling, I see it. It's a lap gown here. It's actually done in knitting. The one I'm looking at. It's a circular Afghan in knitting. But it's got the look of the quilted. So like the couches that have that quilted look that have designs. I don't know how to pronounce that. Mate lace, something like that. So that is not really, well, it's not really, it's more using, I guess to translate it into crochet, I'd probably use post stitches. So kind of overlay. So that would be what I would say is close to that. Do I ever use beads in my crochet? Yes, I do. I use beads quite often, actually. I just haven't designed anything lately with beads. Most of them are from the past. If you look at my Crochet Rock Socks book, I do have a socks with beads in them. I've done patterns for some magazines that have beads in them. I just haven't done them lately because of just time constraints. But I will be doing more because I do have some yarn and some beads that I have a plan for. And I'm hoping that in 2023, I'll actually be able to do that. But yes, I do use beads in my crochet. It's mostly for personal projects at this point. It's been a long time since I've designed anything with beads in it. But actually, now that you've said that, I might go back and go to some of my old patterns that are out of my catalog and revamp some of those that have beads. I have a purse that has beads on it. I have a couple scarves, I think, that have beads on it. I think they're scarves. It's been a long time. My Crochet Legacy was my original name when I started designing in 1998 when I actually started my business. I was crocheting long before then, but I used to use beads a lot in that. And actually, I'm hoping to be teaching my beaded bracelets classes and my Dragon Scales bracelet class, both live on Zoom as well as at live events this coming year. So because I've already pitched it twice to 2 different events. So hopefully I will be teaching them live and in person, but I also am planning to do it online. So you'll be seeing beads, at least in my classes. Good morning, Deborah. Good to see you. How are you? It's great to see you. I just saw I saw a few more people coming in with questions. So hang on. Remember, if you have a question, type in the letter Q and then a space and then your question, and I scoop them up so that I can actually see them. Ellie Mae, good morning. Good to see you. I'm so glad that you're here. Okay, so I'm going to go on to the next question here. Are the beads used in crochet the same beads that you use in cross stitch? You can use any beads you want. I have used pony beads, the plastic pony beads in crochet, all the way down to the small, like 11 zeros, in crochet. I get mine at Michael's. I buy mine online. I go to the bead stores. I really love Shipwreck Beads. They're in Washington State. There's also another one in Texas that I like that's mail order, and I can't think of the name of it right now. I have to look it up. But yes, you can get whatever bead fits your yarn. The way it depends on what the pattern is. Sometimes I pre-string the beads. onto the yarn, and I just pull them up when I need them. Other times I will actually use a smaller crochet hook to put the bead on, and then use that hook to lay it onto the loop. It depends if I want them to go directional, if I want them to go, I don't even know how to describe it. If I want them to lay a certain way, that kind of thing. So it depends on how I'm using the bead in crochet. Now, like for my beaded bracelets that I'm talking about and my Dragon Scales bracelet class that I teach, they both have the beads pre-strung. On the Crochet Rock socks, the blue suede shoes that has the beads on it, those socks, I believe that was 2012 that book came out. So I'm thinking they were pre-strung as well, but maybe not. I can't remember. So it's at whatever fits on your yarn. So you kind of, it seems like the standards are like a 6 or an 8. And for like fingering weight, 6 or an 8. I usually go towards the 8s. If lace weight, I would probably go smaller. So like the 11s would be the smallest I'd go. I don't think I'd go any smaller than the 11s, just because they are too tiny. The holes are too tiny. Sometimes you can't even get the hook through. And I use the thread hooks. Do I have them here where I can reach them reasonably? Yeah. As my camera moves with me. Okay, so I use like these little tiny hooks when I am working with beads, and this is a size 10. If they're not pre-strung, this is what I use. I also have, ones with the handles on them and things like that. But, I use the really tiny thread needles to put the beads on if they're not pre-strung. So I hope that helps, Judy. Okay. Renee says, I like the look of hairpin lace. I haven't taught it in a very, very long time. I have taught it in the past. I don't do much with it because it's beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful, but it is a pain in the behind when you've got all these strips and you have to crochet them together. The strips themselves are so much fun and so easy, but it's completing the project that is a pain. And if you like tedious patterns, hairpin lace is for you. For me, it's not that. I can teach you how to make strips all day long and backwards, forwards. I used to do them when I was younger. My very first Stitch Dictionary had a whole section on hairpin lace. Who knows? Maybe I will do a basic hairpin lace. So maybe we can do like a thread runner or something, if you guys would be interested in that. But anything that's more complicated than a runner is a pain and tedious. So there you go. Okay, so Judy says she'd love a shawl with beads. I'm going to have to put that on my list of things to do next year, to do a shawl with beads. I do have one that is done in worsted weight. It was a class I taught for Michael's years ago. My kids were tiny when I taught that class. I might be able to translate that into a fingering weight shawl. Beaded pattern classes. Okay, Stephanie, that's good to hear. Oh, Deborah, you're retired now and crocheting, knitting lots. That's awesome. When did you retire? Oh my gosh, that's congratulations. That's awesome. Let's see. I've been working on a beaded doily for 8+ years, size 11 beads, 6'2". Oh man. Are you pre-stringing them with needles, Stephanie? Because I'm going to show you a little toy that I have. Oh, it's up there. I'm going to pull this. If you're pre-stringing, you need one of these. This is called the bead spinner. Okay, and it's a bowl. I'm going to take your post off here. It's a bowl, and it's sitting on a pin, and it spins, okay? And you put all the beads in there, and the centrifugal force from the spinning makes all the beads want to lay on the side of the bowl. And then what you do is you get a beading needle that has a curve in it. Can you see that curve in there? I'm going to put it on my hair or something. There we go. This is a beading needle with a curve in it that also has, if I can do it, my nails are not gonna, it's been a while since I've used this one, so it's snapped back to its own shape. Anyway, you can separate this as like you can feed it's like an eye, but it's a really long, oh, there we go. Maybe, there we go. So see that long eye on this needle? You separate that, you put your thread or your yarn in there. And then when you spin this, you guys can't see it. When you spin this, you've got your thread or your yarn on the needle. And as this is spinning, you hook. It'll hook the beads. And when you hook the beads, they'll line up on here. And then you just slide them down. And then you pick up more. I taught my kids how to do this because the kits for my beaded bracelets classes all are pre-strung. So my kids have learned how to do this. This is the fastest way to string multiple tubes of beads. If you haven't seen this, this is something you can, I don't know if Michael's carries them anymore. They used to. I got this one from Shipwreck Beads. Not Shipwreck Beads. What's the name of that one? I get the catalog all the time. I have to look later. But this is the best bead. And Stephanie, I just saw that you're doing size 30 thread. If you have to pre-string them, this is the way to go with the size 30 thread. So definitely something to think about. Let's see, Deborah said, beaded bracelets sound like fun. Yes, it is. They are. And would you guys be interested in me teaching that as a Zoom class? And then as part of the cost of the class, having the kit available and I just ship you the kits? Would that be something you guys would be interested in? Oh, yes. Pat just said bead spinner at Amazon. Yes, you can find them at Amazon too. I'm trying to remember what brand they are. It doesn't have a brand name on this one. But yeah, this is probably one of the best things I ever bought for myself. I think I paid like $50, $60 about 15, 20 years ago. So I've had it for a while. They're probably a little more expensive. Okay, Ellie Mae says, I was just watching the Knitting McPurley podcast and she does a history section. And this week she talked about wrist warmers and they were beaded and very cool. Yes. I do have a pattern. That reminds me, I do have a pattern that's no longer available right now, but maybe I'll bring it back, of mitts that have beads on them. I forgot about those. You guys are reminding me of patterns that are out of my catalog that I really need to go back and look at. So awesome. Okay. I'm going to have to look at that too. Linda loves knit and crochet gadgets. Me too. I don't try everything. I take a look and watch for things, and then I see how they're being used, and then maybe I'll buy them. But I love all that kind of stuff. No, I don't have that. You'll have to get one. I have a straight beading needle like that. Yes, you get the curved beading needle. In the curved beading needles are for this thing. You can't really use the straight beading needle for this. The other thing, do I have it here? I might have it here. Let me show you one of my beaded bracelets. This is just the beads. This is crocheted. A lot of people think this is the regular straight up beading, but this is actually beaded crochet bracelets. But let me see if I have. I don't have it here. The other thing that you can use, and I found this out from Laura Nelkin. I don't know if you guys know who Laura Nelkin is. She's a knitting designer who does lots of kits with beads. And I saw her at an event that I was teaching at, and she was telling all of us to use, have you seen the dental floss loop things? They're like loops. You can use those too. You can put it's like a big eye. You put your thread or yarn on through that big eye, and then you can just do that. And so if you poke yourself a lot with the straight needles, which I do, the dental floss things work really great too. I just saw, okay, Amazon, Joann's, and Hobby Lobby have them. So yes, okay. So Linda says she'd love a beading class. Pat says on average, you see, I put mine way back, so that's why mine was so expensive. It would be I don't actually use yarn. I use nylon thread for my bracelets so that it doesn't break so easily. And I would use, well, oh, I don't have it out anymore. I use it's a nylon cord that is probably equivalent to a lace weight. And I use a size 6 steel hook. But you learn when you take the class and you have the pre-strung kit, it comes with the strung beads, and it also comes with a piece of worsted weight with pony beads on it. And we learn how to do the stitches with the pony beads first before we go down to the little hooks. So there you go. So does that help, Deborah? I hope. Okay, so Linda is asking me, Maurice is, oh yeah, for the yarn cone winder, it's not something I would ever use, even as a designer. It's more for people who produce their own yarn that are spinners and end up being a weaver or like to work off of cones. I mean, we used to be able to buy sugar and cream in cones, or not sugar. Yeah, sugar and cream used to come in cones. I don't know if it still does. But that's what it is for. And I'm not a fan. So I'm not getting his Kickstarter cone winder because I don't need it. If I was a yarn dyer, maybe, but I'm not a yarn dyer. So, but that's kind of it. Anybody else have a question for me? I'm trying to think if there's anything else. A bead class would be nice. Okay. I'd probably start with using doing my beaded bracelet classes. Those kits, it depends on the class and the beads. I have the beads. I have a bunch of kits right now, and I think the ones that I have right now are in the range of $40, $45 just for the kit. Plus, then it would be plus the class, because I have to. Because I had to buy the beads, I had to have them strung. Either I strung them or my kids strung them. So there's time involved in that, and then creating the worsted weight thing. So that's why the kits are so expensive. But they also come with full color pattern book and all of that. So what would happen is you would pay for the class, including the kit up front. I would ship you the class materials and the kit, and then on the first day of class, all you really need to bring is your kit, your instructions, and whatever hooks we're using, plus scissors and things like that. So the kit also comes with all of the findings to make the bracelet. So the clasp, any other, it does come with a beading needle, I believe, because you do have to sew in the ends and stuff like that. So that's something to think about. If you are interested in that, I will put that on the schedule. I'm still waiting to hear from one of the events. One of the events did not pick that class, so I probably will have enough kits. But the other class, the other event, I'm still waiting to hear if they're going to pick that class. So before I can pitch or have that class on my schedule, I have to wait and see if they want me to teach it. And if they want me to teach it, the current kits are going to go to that class, and I'll have to make some new kits. So. Awesome. Okay. Anybody else have questions for me? Would you guys be interested in a finishing class? Everything from, because I mentioned this earlier because Kelly asked me about holes in your fabric and keeping the sides straight and things like that. Because I teach a finishing class it includes blocking. It includes how to keep your taller stitches from being so loopy on the edge. What else does it include? It includes all the things that you wish they would teach you in books about crochet that you can't find anywhere unless someone teaches you how to do it. So I don't know if you guys would be interested in that. But I am working on classes for the first quarter of 2023. So I've already got one class on the books in January, and I'm trying to debate what then the other class will be, or if I'm going to teach two different classes. So things like that. One of the classes that didn't come up, but people have seemed to have wanted to learn is the double-ended hook techniques, which is a form of Tunisian, but it's using the double-ended hook. So I don't know if you guys are interested in that. So just let me know whatever you guys are interested in. And also, I still need ideas for topics for future shows. We have until the end of December, December 28th, which is the last Wednesday of the year, will be my last weekly live stream. Remember, in January, I'm going to twice a month. And if everything goes well, in fact, I'm in talks right now, but I'm going to be the second Wednesday of every month will be an interview with somebody, whether they're a dyer or a designer. I'm hearing noises outside. Sorry, guys. A designer or a dyer or somebody else in the industry. So the second Wednesday will be an interview, because from my survey, I did find out that you guys really want interviews. So, or at least my newsletter subscriber want interviews. So I'm going to do some interviews once a month if I can get someone scheduled every month. And then the last Wednesday of the month. So if there's 5 Wednesdays, there might be a 2-week gap before I do a show, but the last weekend will be more of whether I do a tip and trick or talk about what's new in the studio. Chances are it'll be more what's new in the studio, showing you some behind the scenes stuff, that kind of thing. So just a reminder that that's what's going to be happening. I still will be giving away patterns every show. If I'm doing an interview, though, if they have something to give away, I'll be giving away something from them. It won't be one of my patterns. So I'm going to try to make sure that it's either like a coupon or a pattern or some sort of freebie they have, that kind of thing. So maybe only once a month I'm giving away a free pattern. So it may not be the most recent release. It just depends. So, anybody have any questions for me? Well, it's almost 10 o'clock. I've got about another 7 minutes. 10 o'clock Pacific, I should mention. So I know a lot of you are all probably, I don't know, is anybody here in the Pacific time zone? I know Alaska is behind me. Dawn, for your work schedule, would you be able to take Saturday classes, or do you work Saturdays? Because I'm going to be offering from time to time Saturday classes. I'm not going to be doing evening classes. After talking about it with my husband, I just can't. I mean, it's family time, even though it's just him and I these days. That's when we get to connect. But I am going to try to do Saturday classes. Not every weekend necessarily, but I am going to do. Oh, Joyce, you're Pacific. Okay, there you go. I have one other Pacific person. Yay. Yeah, I know most people are Eastern or Central. And then the Alaska ladies are earlier than me. It's for me, it's Alaska's 2 hours behind me. So it's almost 10. So it's almost 8 there. You guys are awesome. And Frances has to win the award, if she's still here, for being here in New Zealand time and 5:14 in the morning, a day ahead of us. So it's actually the 27th there, I believe, if I'm correct, if Frances is still here. Yep. Yay, I'm glad, Francis, that it's doing well. Okay, yeah. Oh, so you're an hour behind me. Okay. So you'll be 9. Okay. I couldn't remember if you guys were an hour or 2 hours behind me. Okay. You're off today, next week. Oh, so you're you have a rotating day off. So you're okay. I see with how your schedule works, Dawn. Okay. Yeah, I don't do Sundays. That's always been no work on Sundays. So but Dawn, if something ever works, or if there's something this is true for everybody. If there's a class that I'm offering and you can't take it at that time, and if I get enough people that can take it on another day, I may be willing to schedule it for another day. I can also do one-on-one classes, but I try to keep those few and far between. But if I can get like 3 or 4 people that maybe can't do a Wednesday afternoon, but early evening, and depending on your time zone, but can do a Saturday class, I may move it. I may schedule a second one for a Saturday class, that kind of thing. So let me know what's going on. So Francis says it's still here Thursday morning. Yep. So she's already into Thursday, and I'm barely into Wednesday. So yay. Okay. If nobody else has any questions, if you have a question, go ahead and post it in the chat. Otherwise, I'm going to remind you guys that you can still win a copy of Blue Skies. This is the original from the pattern. I just released it yesterday. If you want to enter to win, in the chat box, type in #SkyBlue. So let me know on that. I mean, go ahead and post those in there. I'm going to go ahead and pull a winner. I just saw somebody posted something. Dawn was asking, I'm wondering if you could do a kit and a video like the beaded bracelet. There is a possibility. I just don't want that out there right now because it's my way of doing it. And I don't like to have static videos for stuff that I do differently than other people. So probably not in the near future. Maybe in a year or two when I am more stable to be able to do stuff like that. Right now I am, I guess I could talk about that too before I do the drawing. I'm going to take this off for a second. So with all that's happened in the last couple of years between me having cancer and my daughter having a baby and having all her problems and all the things that go along with that, I've had to reassess how I run my business. And that was one of the reasons why I did the survey that I did. And if you're not a subscriber to my newsletter, I'm going to put this up on the screen here too for you. If you're not a subscriber to my newsletter, I recommend you get on now because there's going to be a lot of changes that you'll start seeing that are going to start coming out in mid-November. Gosh, I was almost said October. Mid-November through December, you're going to start seeing some new things that are happening. One of them was last week's live stream that I talked about, the Crochet Crew. But next year is going to be the very last year that I'm going to have a pattern release every single month. It's not something that I can keep up with. I'm a lot better since my cancer treatments have been done. However, I am still in recovery mode. The doctor did tell me that I probably wouldn't feel like myself until the end of the year, and I have a feeling it's going to be even longer. My last treatment was in May. Yeah, the end of May. And I am still feeling the effects of the treatments for the last 18 months prior to that. So I have learned that I have to say no to a few things. I have to have my time to relax. I have to have my time that if I'm going to design something, I need the time to be able to do it well. And not to say that my patterns are not done well because everybody is happy. It's just that I'm doing too many too fast. And so I've decided I'm going to take the time to do it a little bit slower. So that's why you're going to see a lot of changes coming up. I am going to do, hopefully, if all works out the way I think it's going to work out for next year, I'm going to be doing multiple newsletters every month. The first one will be a news one. The second one will be a pattern release, because I'm going to be releasing the patterns at the beginning of the month if I can. And I think all of them can be done by then. And then the third week of the month, I'm going to do, I'm still debating on a couple things, whether I'm going to do like a little educational thing, like a tip of the month or something, or shoot a video to you guys, or something like that. Or I'm going to do, like we were talking about my back catalog that's not available anymore. If you go to my Ravelry page, I'm going to share that page with you. Hang on a second. I am able to look at Ravelry right now because they have changed something, and some stuff that I'm actually able to look at Ravelry. I can't go on there and sell on Ravelry anymore. I just can't for my own value system. But can you guys see this? This is my Ravelry page. I have got to find a way to change all of this right now. I have no access to that, but I've been adding my patterns. But if you go back to my old catalog, okay, so here's my old catalog. There's no pictures on some of them. Some of them are from magazines, so the pictures are still there. So you're going to see a whole bunch of stuff that's older. I'm going to see if I can find something that's a little more, that has pictures. This is getting all fixed up right now. Oh, here's one. Here's the Learn to Bead belt that I did for American School of Needlework. But I'm just showing you here that I have a large back catalog of things that I can redo. Some of them I can't, but you guys have reminded me to look at my back catalog again today. And so with my back catalog, I'm going to stop sharing that. With my back catalog, I was thinking I was going to go and redo some of those patterns and offer them on my newsletter as a freebie, either as a freebie or as a PDF download for less than my normal patterns, because they're already pre-done, that kind of thing. So that's what would be the third week of the month. And the fourth week of the month, I haven't decided what I'm going to do, but every newsletter is going to be different. So I just wanted to let you know that's something that's going to change as well. I just saw a comment come through. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's the thing though. Dawn, I don't do that right now. There's a lot of copyright things that are involved, and I don't have the software for that yet. That's something that I'm looking into, but I cannot do for 2023. It's the costs that are involved to make it that work. That was supposed to be part of the Pattern Club. And the software that I'm using now, as you know, is garbage. And the ones that I would like to use are just not in the budget right now. So that's something that may happen in the future, if that makes sense. There's just too many things that are involved in something like that, and I have to work myself up to that. And that's part of the reason why the Crochet Crew is going to be in the format that the Crochet Crew is in, because the videos that you'll have access to there will only be available to people who are active in the Crochet Crew. Now, if I were to do an extension of that and do live classes that are videotaped, kind of like a Thinkific site or a Teachable site, the costs involved in that are not covered right now in the Crochet Crew or even the Pattern Club right now. So I would need to have at least 200 people in the Crochet Crew before I can afford to do something like that, because it's expensive to do that. So, but I will do that in the future. So if you guys are interested in the Crochet Crew, if you didn't watch last week's video, watch it. But I am in early December, I'm also going to be doing a Zoom call that people can register for to talk about the Crochet Crew, answer questions live, that kind of thing. So if you're interested in that, just so that you guys know. Time is a gift. Please take care of yourself. I am. And Dawn just wants to retire. Me too, in some days. No, I'm enjoying crochet too much. I'm probably I don't know how many of you know Margaret Hubert, but she's in her mid to late 80s now, and she's still designing. She's still a cover girl on all the crochet magazines. I mean, she's amazing, and I would love to be Margaret when I'm in my 80s. So anyway, okay, so I'm going to go back and put on the screen. Hang on, the one last time, the giveaway. So I'm going to count back from 10, and then I'm going to draw. So if you're still interested in winning a copy of the pattern, type in hashtag sky blue. I'm going to go back from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and draw. Oh, let's see who's going to be our winner today. Very excited. Deborah! Yay! So Deborah is our winner. So Deborah, I'll put that in your account. As soon as this is over, and today is what? The 26th. Wow. Okay. Congratulations. Okay. So before I go, I'm going to go ahead. So Deborah, I will get that in there. So be watching for that. Anybody else have a question before I sign off? Nobody has a question. Okay, well, I am going to be having a busy weekend. My grandson is having his baptism on Saturday, so we're going to be up in Spokane for that. I'm very excited to see him and for him to be baptized. So I'm very excited. And so I'm going to have a busy weekend, but I'm going to be having projects to work on behind the scenes. And I will see you next week. Please, guys, I'm going to put this back on the screen one more time. If you have an idea for something for me to talk about, I mean, literally, if you mentioned it here, and I will forget by the time I hang up this call or I shut down this video. So go to this page, KarenHooley.com/Q n A, and fill out the form and tell me what you would like me to talk about, because we still have 9 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 9 more weekly Zooms, and I really need topics, guys. Nobody sent me anything last week, so send me topics. I mean, even if it's something that I said I probably wouldn't do, send it to me anyway, because I might roll it around in my mind and find a way to do a mini lesson on it. So anyway, have a great week. I'm going to take that off the screen. I'm going to take this guy off the screen. Have a great week. Prayers all around to everybody, and I will see you next Wednesday. Bye, y'all.